Hello everyone, this is Zooc and today I'm bringing you a new cooking video. This one is gonna be potato curry, or my version of it, or what the Indians like to call aloo dum, or what I like to call a violated and defiled version of aloo dum. But regardless, it's tasty and it's quite budget friendly, so it's a dish that'll last you for a long time if you make a big batch of it. This is eaten with rice, by the way, so yeah, I know, starch on starch, pure madness. Right now I'm on paleo, so I don't actually eat potatoes anymore, but I filmed this when I wasn't on paleo. And it lasts me and my girlfriend for 3 days, so that's 6 portions with rice. So that was quite the carb overload. But anyway, that bullshit aside, you need, first off, half a kilo of potatoes, or about 500 grams, which is half a kilo. I don't know why I said that again, or 1 pound for you Americans. So cube up your potatoes, peel them first, of course. Cube them up, and then you need to boil these first. So toss them in a pot of water with a lot of salt, or a fistful of Vegeta if you're European. We use that shit in everything, which is basically MSG and dehydrated vegetables. Next up, we're gonna peel 3 medium onions, or 2 large ones, and I'm really struggling there with that fucking onion. These Czech vegetables are incredibly dense for some reason. Like the layers on cabbages and onions seem to be like glued together somehow. So anyway, in the dish, you're going to feel the onion once it's done cooking, which is fine for me. I don't mind it. So that's why I slice it. But you can grate it if you mind the texture. It's how I fooled Total Biscuit into eating my curry, since he hates onions. And I put literally a full wheelbarrow of onions in my curry, grated, and he still ate it and said it was good. So it definitely works. Next up, we're going to peel and slice a thumb piece of ginger, so about 1 inch. All the recipes somehow magically say 1 inch of ginger, even though they don't take into account the thickness of it. But let's just say it doesn't really matter. You can put quite a lot of it in there, and it tastes fine, and it gives it a very interesting flavor. And you can probably use dried ginger, but it's never the same taste. I really like my fresh ginger. So just slice it into thin slices, then stack them up and slice them into matchsticks, and then like the Chinese pros do it. Well, not really, because they actually do it well, but trying to emulate somewhat the way Chinese chefs do it. Turn the matchsticks around and dice them really fine. The Indians have this ginger garlic paste that they use in their dishes. Unfortunately, we don't, so we have to do it the old-fashioned way, which is manually do everything and peel all the cloves and la la la. Next up, as you see there, we're peeling some cloves of garlic. When I say some, I mean some. You can literally put 50 of them in there, but I probably wouldn't recommend it. So let's just go for 4 or 5 medium-sized cloves. These would be better grated, but to match the texture of the ginger. But I really don't give a shit, and I'm super lazy, so I just slice them thinly, turn them around, and give them a rough chop. Yes, I know it's really bad when you do things like this, but in stews, I don't think it matters that much. If you were to do something very minute and super detailed where the garlic stands out or something, then I would understand. But in this case, it really doesn't matter. Next up, we're going to drain a can of chickpeas. That's right, we use chickpeas as well. And also a can of lentils. These are basically filler. You could make the curry without any of these and just use the potatoes and the sauce. But I was trying to come up with a dish that was quite friendly on the budget, really filling, and would last a long time. So I thought the obvious choice would be lentils and chickpeas, which are very delicate in flavor. They don't really, you don't really feel them in the dish, but they add an interesting textural difference as opposed to potatoes, which are pretty much soft. Next up, over high heat, we have a pan there, and I put a fucking gallon of butter. Indians would use ghee, which is clarified butter, and you can use also coconut oil because the dish will have coconut in it, so why not start off with that, or a combination of both. Dump all your onions in there, not the ginger and garlic yet, because these onions are gonna sweat for about 10 minutes. I lowered the heat to medium, and I'm tossing the onions like a pro now. I also used a bit of salt, which will bring out the liquid in them and will soften them up. They'll break up the cell walls, and everything will be A-okay. After 10 minutes, the onions are going to look caramelized, somewhat soft, stringy-like you see there. And now it's time to add the curry powder. And unfortunately, I don't make my own curry powder, even though I wish I had the amount of spices to make it, but I found a quite tasty one at Tesco. It's the medium curry powder, which you see there. And I add about 3 tablespoons of it. Why the fuck not? And then I add about 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin. This is all shit I made up on the fly. I have no idea if this is how you actually do it. But these flavors go well together. Like Indians use cumin a lot, and curry powder has, of course, quite a different amount of spices, and they're all quite different. But I guess it comes down to turmeric, coriander. I forgot what the one that looked like pods were. I really can't remember the name. Anyway, add your garlic and ginger and fry that for a minute with the flavored onions, and then add your lentils and chickpeas in there. Basically, the reason I add the spices to the onions is because, as I mentioned in previous videos, a lot of these spices are liposoluble, which means they dissolve in fat. So if you fry them in fat with onions, they're going to spread the flavor uniformly. They're not going to clump up, and they're going to bloom, which is like develop a new layer of flavor. After that, dump in a can of chopped tomatoes or tomato puree, and immediately after, a can of coconut milk. Some people will use cream here, but I think coconut milk adds a much more interesting taste to curries, and I would always prefer coconut milk over yogurt or cream or any of that nonsense. And now add your boiled potatoes that have been draining somewhere. Yeah, it's a bit erratic. I didn't show boiling the potatoes, but I'm pretty sure you can figure out how to do that. And because I'm a total tool and a dumbass, I forgot to add my turmeric when I was frying the onion, so I'm adding it now. Turmeric is a very earthy and tasty spice, and it smells really Indian, as stupid as that sounds. But I think a curry without turmeric doesn't nearly reach the level that it could. After the turmeric, I add in about 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, and then I just let it simmer for about 10 more minutes. What you see me adding there is a fistful of chicken powder. But if you're vegetarian or vegan, which you shouldn't be in the first place, then just use plain old salt. This medium curry curry power indeed, is quite spicy. Not unbearably so, but a little bit. And if you want more spice, just add like 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne in there. And if you want less spice, then tough shit. You're not getting any. So this is basically a poor man's version of a potato curry. It's not much of a looker. It looks like someone barfed up their dinner after a drunken Friday night. But regardless, it's really tasty, and it'll last you for a long time. And it's you can impress your friends by making them think that you know how to cook Indian food, when in fact you have no fucking idea. But try it, really. I made this like 3-4 times already, so clearly it works for me. And also my girlfriend, who likes it a lot. And give it a shot. And let me know how it came out on Twitter and all that bullshit. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Sorry there haven't been many videos lately. I'm just going to come up with more excuses saying that I had work, which I did. A fuckload of it. And I'm going to be going back to Romania in a little bit. And blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be a busy time, but I'm trying. And I'll stick to my promises. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Please rate that shit if you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.